Assalamu alaikum and good morning everyone. How are you all? Hope you all are doing well and having good time at home. So, today we are diving into the world of primary industries. These are the industries that take raw materials directly from the earth. We are going to look at two very different but equally vital examples: oil production in Saudi Arabia and milk production right here in Pakistan. First, let's look at how we actually get oil out of the ground. It's not just one simple hole in the earth. As you can see in your textbooks, we have onshore wells on land and offshore platforms at sea. On land, we use a structure called a drick to support the pumps. Out at sea, it gets more complex. If the water is shallow, the platform has giant legs that sit on the ocean floor. But what if the sea is too deep? In those cases, engineers use floating platforms held in place by massive steel cables anchored to the seabed. Sometimes underground pressure pushes the oil up naturally, but most of the time we have to pump it to the surface. Here is a diagram which is showing us onshore and offshore oil platforms and oil wells. Now, imagine living in the middle of the ocean. An oil platform is like a tiny floating city because these platforms are so far from the coast. Workers don't go home every night, they live there for weeks at a time. To keep them happy and healthy, these platforms have bedrooms, dining halls, and even cinema and libraries. Just think that how they get there, because the platforms are very far from the coast. So there is a constant shuttle service flying back and forth from the mainland to bring in fresh food supplies and new shifts of workers. Now let's look at the numbers. In 2020, the USA was the top producer, but Saudi Arabia followed closely in second place, producing about 12% of the world's total oil. If you look at the table in figure 4.11, you'll notice that just 10 countries produce nearly 71% of the entire world's oil. That is a huge amount of power concentrated in just a few nations. Saudi Arabia also holds the world's second largest reserves. That's oil still sitting in the ground waiting to be used. Now, look on the next slide. This brings up the very interesting debate. Look at the two people in figure 4.13. The man says, "Let's sell the oil now to build our school, roads, and hospitals. We want to grow the economy immediately." But the woman argues, "Let's save it." She believes that as oil becomes rare globally, the price will go up, making it worth much more in the future. What do you think? Is it better to have the money now or wait for a bigger payday later? This is a question every oil rich nation has to answer. And if we talk about the current situation due to the war, the oil price are getting rise day by day. Now, let's switch gears from black gold to white gold. Milk. Pakistan is a global leader here. We are consistently in the top 5 milk producing countries in the world. Unlike oil, milk is highly purchasable. It goes sour. This is why most of our dairy farms, like the ones in Landhi, Karachi, are located very close to the cities. We need to get that milk from the buffalo to from breakfast table as fast as possible. Here I am sharing some pictures regarding dairy farms. Let's look at what goes into a farm like a Naim Nagori dairy farm. To run a farm of this size, you need roughly 15 workers for every 100 buffaloes. You also need specific inputs, specialized sheds for milking, trough for water, and a lot of feed. These buffaloes eat a mix of wheat husks, crushed cotton seeds, and maize leaves. It's a 24 by 7 operation. You can't just turn a buffalo off for the weekend. The process is very hands on. Buffaloes are milked by hand twice a day. Each buffalo gives about 5 liters per milking. But the farm produces more than just milk. The dung is collected, dried in the yard, and sold to the farmers as manure for their crops. This is a great example of a primary industry where nothing goes to waste. Once the milk is collected in tanks and containers, trunks rush it into the city to be sold fresh in shops or sent to factories. The next slide is about challenges and facts in Pakistan's dairy industry. Have you ever think that why do we use buffaloes instead of cows? In Pakistan, 60% of our milk comes from buffaloes because people prefers it. It's actually lower in cholesterol than cow's milk. However, we face challenges. We are seeing more important milk powder competing with our local farmers. To stay ahead, the Pakistan Dairy Association works to train farmers in better hygiene and animal health to make sure our white gold industry continues to grow. This is enough for today. Allah Hafiz and take care.